Okay, so let's begin the session. Good morning, everyone. Uh, and this is a continuation session for Git. Okay, so in our previous session, we are looking into Git. Last session. Okay. Git installation. Okay, and installation part and architecture. Git architecture, how the Git works, architecture, and then also uh, we are pushing some files, right? So pushing files, okay, onto the central repository, okay, right? And we are looking in terms of both users, like one is as a both clients, Linux client as well as Windows client, okay, right? Now, in today's session, we'll try to look into the conflicts, how to resolve the conflicts, okay. So what is a conflict firstly? If you remember in SVN, right? Okay, in SVN we are looking into the conflicts. What kind of conflicts? Suppose I have two users. Okay, I have these two users or developers. Okay, now both the users are trying to access some file from the repository. This is Git repository. Okay, they are trying to access a file. They are trying to access a file, and okay, right. So, and they are doing changes on uh, some hello.java file. Okay, so both are working on same file. Okay, both the users are working on same file. Okay, now just say initially. Okay, now he's a dev one. The first user is this is a dev one user. Okay, and here is dev two user. Dev two user, dev one and dev two users. Okay, now so just say as a dev one user, and he is done with the changes. He is done with the changes. He has done some changes to the file. Okay, and then he is committed changes to the repository. Not committed, push it, right? He has pushed it. He has pushed. Okay, right. Now the file has been updated, right? On central repository, the file has been updated. Clear? Right. And so whenever the file is updated on central repository, okay, then there will be some changes in the file on central repository. Clear? Now let's dev 2. Okay, developer 2 is working on the same file and is not aware that the file has been updated on the central repository. The file has been updated on central repository, and even he has done with his changes and he is trying to push the changes. He's trying to push his changes now. But will he be able to commit push his changes? No. Why? Yeah, because on the central repository, on Git central repository, the file is updated. That means there is a change in the file. Okay, that means there is change in the version. See what happens whenever we commit, whenever we push it, the version will be changed, right? A version will be changed on the central repository. We know this. Okay, the same way, but now we have a new file. The file has been updated on the central repository by developer 1. But developer 2 is still working on the old versions, the previous version. He does not have the latest version of the file. Clear? So that is reason he won't be able to push it. He won't be able to push it. Okay, because he is on his local, he is working on the previous version of the file, but on central he is having latest version. So how can we resolve this? Sorry? Yeah, conflict, correct. But what is the next step? Update, correct. Okay, so we need to update this. So what do we call this command? in terms of his git. What is this command? Pull. Okay, it is pull. In SVN it is update. It is now it is in pull. Clear? But whenever the user pulls, whenever the developer pulls onto the central repository, onto his local system, but on local the file is already updated, right? The file is changed. Now on central the file is different, on local the file is different. Okay, then will it be updated? Will it be updated? Will the local file be updated? No. No. See, look at, try to understand here. On local developer 2, he has done some changes. On central, some changes has been done by some other user. Okay, and he is trying to, developer 1 is trying to, developer 2 is trying to pull the changes. He's updating, he wants to update the changes. So if he updates it, what should happen to his changes? Whatever he has done on his local system, right? He has done some changes on his local system. What should happen to his changes? Clear? Yeah. So that shouldn't be done. That shouldn't be done. See, if both the changes, for example, if the developer 2 changes, vanishes, erases, then will it be a proper? Will it be a proper way? I mean, that shouldn't be done, right? Both the changes, both the user changes should be applied. Neither developer 1 nor developer 2 changes should be erased. Okay. Now, how do we resolve this? See, for example, so developer says that, for example, dev team says that, okay, the team says that, so now we have 2 developers, right? Developer 1 and then developer 2. So we have 2 days. Now the scenario is, whose changes you want that has to be applied? Whose changes you want to apply? Okay. Now, whether we want developer 1 or we don't want developer 2, or not developer 1, I want only developer 2, or else you can go with both the user changes, or else I don't want both the changes. Understand this? Okay, whose changes you want? Whether you want developer 1 changes, if you want developer 1 changes, then neglect developer 2 changes, and then neglect the developer 1 changes and developer 2 changes should be applied. Okay, and then developer 1 and developer 2 both the changes should be applied, or else I don't want any changes. We have these 4 scenarios. Correct? So how do we resolve this? So that is the conflict. Okay, let's look into how can we resolve this conflict. Okay. Right. Now, so firstly, so this is the server, Jenkins server. Git version V, I guess. Okay, version V. Hyphen version. Yeah, it's hyphen version. Now we have Git install. Okay, and I need one more machine as a client machine. Okay. So I'm using 2 clients. So one is on Linux, other one is on Windows. So let me open Windows as well. So how do we open? What is the tool we need to work on? Git bash, right? Git bash. Open a Git bash. That's on Windows. Now we have everything ready. So we have server ready, clients ready, both are ready. And yesterday, okay, this is the client system I'm on. Okay, and then where was the Git client? Yesterday we were doing some changes to this Git client, right? Remember? Or let's do one thing. Let's again do this. Okay. Anyway, we have it. Just I want to show you that again. Those steps. Okay, nice.
Which table? Which table?
Yeah, coming to that. Okay. So or let's do this. Just try to understand that. So we have Windows user and the Linux user. That's it. Instead of dev1 and dev2. Okay. Try to understand this, that we have Windows user and then Linux user. One user on Windows, so he's a Windows user. Okay. And other one is an Linux user. We have two users. Okay. So that you can easily identify. So Windows user, git bash. Okay. Right. So just create some directory. So the directory is created, some plain directory, and then cd git client. So what I need to now, I'm a client, right? So I'm a developer. What I need to have first? I need to have,
Oh,
yeah, I need to have the central repository. So how can we do that? Clone. Okay, right. The command is git clone and then path. That means the repository path. Okay. So this is the server. If config, it is 185. Okay. Root at the rate 192, 168, 242.185, and then location of the repositories. I think it is in root directory, right? Git repo. Okay. cd git slash git repo. This is the location. Okay. Slash git repo. Okay. And clone it. The password of the central repository. Okay. ls and cd git repo. Okay. So yesterday we have created the file, right? Yesterday we have created the file1.txt. Now file1.file.java. Okay. And then go to the Linux client. Okay. So just create a directory. So why we are creating directory? For our understanding purpose, to make our work easy. That's it. Because I want to do every work within that report, within that directory. That's it. Okay. There's no specific meaning why I'm creating the directory. Okay. And cd git client. Okay. I'm in the directory. I'm in cd git. Okay. And then git client. Obviously we need to clone it. Git clone root user and the IP address 185 and then slash git repo. Okay. cd git repo ls file.java. Now both the users is having file.java. Okay, right. Let's do this part now. So here what I'm trying to do is, okay, so open the vi file.java here. Okay, I'm a Windows user now. Okay, I'm a Windows user. So as a Windows user, I'm writing some source class hello. Okay, and then what is that? Uh, some void main, whatever. Okay, some void main program here. Okay, so I don't remember exactly. Yeah, no issues. Something, some code. Okay, I'm not a programmer. I need it. Okay, so within the main, okay, I'm writing some system dot out dot, okay, println. Okay, here just hello from developer one, or else yeah, just say developer one. Okay, right. So and then save this file. Save it. The file is saved. You can go for status, git status. Okay, so git add. So we have done some changes to the file, right? So we need to, it is modified. So we need to add that file. Git add file name. Okay, and then what's the next step? What is the next step? Commit, correct. Git commit. Okay, some modified file.java. After that, what's next step? Git push origin master, because I'm pushing it to master. Okay, push it. Now it has been pushed. It has been pushed successfully to the master. Okay, correct. Now let's try to log in as a Windows, as a Linux user now. Okay, so I'm done as a Windows user. I'm done with my part. Okay, then try to log in as a Linux user. I'm a Linux user now. Okay, now so as a Linux user, I'm not aware that the file has been updated, file has been modified, and it has been pushed onto the central repository by the Windows user. Okay, clear? Right. So I'm still doing my modifications as a Linux user. Even I'm writing some source code. Class hello. Okay, some main program. Okay, some system dot out dot println. Okay, right. And this is hello from developer 2. Okay, clear? Okay, or else just one thing here. I want to show you something different. I just neglect that whatever we have done. Just I want to show you something different. Okay, so neglect these changes whatever you have done. Okay. So far the file.java is empty. Okay, as a Linux user, okay, I have not done any changes. Okay, so Windows user has done the changes and Linux user has not done any changes. Okay, so far so clear. Right, now what I'm doing as a Linux user, I'm trying to pull the data from the central repository to local repository. Okay, with the help of pull command. Okay, clear? Git pull. Now, so what do you see here? One file is changed and 7 insertions. That means 7 lines being added to the file.java. So open this file. Okay. So now we have file.java and these changes are done by the which developer? Windows developer, developer 1. Okay. Clear? Now. Okay. So again, go back to the Windows developer as a developer 1. Okay. Now what developer 1 is doing is, now both the users is having the same versions because the even Linux user he has pulled it. So that's why both the users having the same versions of the file. Clear? Now let's say on Windows user I'm doing some changes to the file. Okay. Which line? That's in look at here, you can see the line number here, line number 5. Okay, you can see the line number 5. Okay, right. So Windows user, he is doing some changes at line number 5. Okay, right. So instead of here in this line 1, he says that some Windows user, he has done some changes to the source at line number 5. Okay, he is doing changes only at the line number 5, not for the other lines. We have totally 7 lines we have. Okay, but he is doing changes only at the line number 5. That's it. Okay, right. And then save it. It is saved. Then check the status. The file has been modified. Okay, that's been modified. Now, so obviously we need to add it first. Then you can commit it. Okay, git add file.java. Okay, and then git commit -m okay, and modified some comment. Okay, modified file.java. Okay, by Windows user. Done. Okay, and after that git push origin master password. So it has been pushed successfully. Okay, right. Now just go to the Linux user now. So I'm not pulling it now. Okay, I'm not pulling it. Okay, from central repository to local repository. I'm not pulling it. So, but I'm doing some changes at line number 5, the same line. Okay, so I'm doing some changes to this line from Linux user. Okay, and also I'm doing some changes, some hello, class name is some hello, some CIS. I've done 2 changes. One is at line number 5, other one is at line number 1. So Linux user has done changes to these 2 lines, line number 1 and line number 5. Okay, clear? But Windows user has done changes only at line number 5. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So before that, okay. So just leave that aside. Now I want to do some changes first. Okay. So what I want to do some settings first. So what are those settings is, I want to set some merge tools. Okay, some merge tools. Set up merge tool. I want to set up some merge tool. So what is the purpose of the merge tool? Okay, we'll talk about this later on. Okay. So how do we set up the merge tool is, so we have a command. Okay, so git config -. Okay, and before that I just want to show you something as well which I didn't show yesterday. Git config -list, typo. Okay, git config -list. Okay, so whenever first time whenever you push it onto the central repository, whenever you push some changes or whenever you commit some changes onto the repository, what you need to do is you need to do two settings. Okay, the first one is you need to set the username, and the other one is the user email ID. Okay, so these two you need to set it before you commit it. Without setting these things, if you try to push it, you'll be getting some errors that set the username and the email ID. Okay, but since these ones are already set it, so I didn't get any errors. Okay, so in my repository I have already set them up, so that's why I didn't get any issues. But how do we set them is, understand this, right? Okay, git config -global. Okay, and look at here now. What is the username? Some Linux user. Okay, and what is the email ID? Linux user @gmail.com. I want to change this email IDs. Okay, or else just say I'm doing it for the first time. Just say I'm pushing the data to the central repository for the first time. Before you push it data to the central repository, you need to do these settings. So what are those settings is, git config -global, and then user dot name. Okay, git config -global, user dot name, yeah, and then within the double colons set the username. Okay, some Linux user. Okay, right, and then I've set the git config -global, user dot name is Linux user. I'm setting, see, I'm a Linux user, right? I'm a Linux user, so I need to set my username and as well as the email IDs first before you push it. Okay, then there is one more setting. You need to set the email ID as well. Git config -global, user dot email. Okay, and then the email ID, some email ID, Linux user @mail.com. Okay, then enter. Now check the list again. Check this list again. Which how can we check the list? Git config -list. So look at here. Username is Linux user and the user email ID is Linux user @mail.com. Okay. So before you push it, just do these two settings. If you don't set these things first, and even if you try to push it or commit it, then you'll be getting some error that firstly set the username and then email ID. You can get some warning message there. Okay, set the email ID. How do we set the email ID? Even you get the clear help as well. Set it like this. Set it like this. Okay, clear? Right. And I want to do one more setting here as well. I want to set the merge tool. Like I want to set the merge tool. The merge tool I want to set it. But what is the purpose? We'll talk about that purpose later on. Okay. So how do you set the merge tool? Git config --- global merge dot tool is vam diff. Okay. I want to set the merge tool as vam diff. vam diff is the merge tool. Okay. So I want to set the why do we need to set the username? It's very simple because when you check the log files, right? So when you check the log files, there we should see who has committed these things, right? Who has committed so and so things. Look at here, the name and the email ID. Even if you check the log on Linux user, git, sorry, yeah, git log. Okay, who has done the changes? Who has done the changes? Okay, so why do I have this email ID? Because this user is from Windows, correct? The user is from Windows. And the dates, look at the dates, right? Look at the dates. And this is a name and this is a email ID. Okay. Now set the merge tool. Git config -- global and then merge dot tool is vam diff. See, so far we have set email IDs as well as the username. Now I want to set the merge tool, which is vam diff. Okay. So what is the purpose? We'll see. Now the merge tool is set. How can we check that? Git config - list. Okay. Merge dot tool is vam diff. Okay, clear? Right. And I want to go for one more settings. I want to set the core editor as well. Okay. So git config - global core dot editor is vi or vim, no, whatever, no issues, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So let me. Okay. So we need to do firstly. Okay. First time before you push it. Before you commit it, actually, before you commit, okay, you need to do two settings. Okay, what is the first one? Git config - global. What was that? User dot name. User dot name is, and then username. Okay, and then what is the other one? Git config - global user dot email or mail. Email, right? Yeah. And then user @ some mail dot. Okay, done. Then, so I want to set the merge tool as well. Okay. So how do we set the merge tool? Git config okay, global. Then merge dot tool is, no, we don't need any double marks or double equals, vam diff. Okay, and other one is git config - global core dot editor is vam. So we know this, we know what is this purpose. Okay. Whenever you check the log files, you can see the usernames, email IDs in the log files. Who has committed, who has pushed these changes. Okay. So we know this. But now, what is the purpose of these merge tools? Now, we are looking into some conflicts, right? We are looking into some conflicts. So what do we need to with this conflicts? We need to merge the conflicts. So we are seeing the same concept within SVM, right? So we are trying to merge the conflicts. Clear? So in order to merge the conflicts, you need to have VAM diff as a merge tool. So I'm going to use VAM diff as a merge tool. Okay, and VAM diff is a default merge tool provided by Git. It's a default merge tool provided by Git. Okay, right. There are some other merge tools as well, but if you want to use those tools, you need to integrate them into Git. Okay. But this is a default. This is a default Git merge tool provided by Git. Okay, right. So let's go back to our actual scenario. So where were we? Okay. So Windows user, right? Windows user, he has pushed his changes. Okay, and he is done with the push. And Linux user is not pulled it. Okay, he forgot to pull it. He didn't do pull operation. Then he is updated the same file. Updated the file dot Java. But which lines? 1 comma 5. But how about Windows user? On which line? Only line 5 for file dot Java. Okay, clear? Now, so here let's. I'm a Linux user now, and as a Linux user, what I want to do is I want to first check the status first. I've done the modification to the file.java. Okay, the file.java has been modified, and if it is modified, obviously we need to add it, right? Git add file.java, and what's next step? Git commit -m modified by Linux user. So it is committed. How many insertions we have? Two insertions. Why two insertions? Line 1 and line 5. Okay. And what is the next step? Git push. Okay. Origin master. Okay. Enter. So will it be a successful commit? Will it be a successful commit or failure? Failure. Okay. Why? Why it will be a failure? Sorry, the push is, will it be success or the failure push? Obviously you said fail. Why fail?
Some changes are on the same line.
Yeah, correct. So we have Linux user has done the some changes to the same line, which is line number 5, and that has already done by the Windows developer, Windows user. Okay. Now, okay. So what do you see here? Not have, okay. Updates were rejected because the remote contains the work that you do not have, did not have locally. So what does it mean? On central repository we have a file, and the file has some changes. Locally we have one more file, and that file contains different changes. That's what it means. Okay, you do not have those changes locally, but you have them on central. Okay, so what does it mean? See, we have something on central, we don't have them local. What do we need to do? What is operation we need to do? Sorry? Push? So why do you push it? See, we have some data on central and we want them on local. What is operation? What is the command? Sorry? You clone it only first time. You don't clone it every time. Sorry?
Pull the code.
Pull, correct. Yeah, that's correct. Who was that? Yeah, I know who it is. Okay, correct. Okay, right. So git pull. So it is clearly mentioned, right? Before pushing it, pull it. It's already clearly mentioned. Git pull. Okay. So if I pull it, will it be updated successfully? No. Yeah, correct. Because on central we have some changes. Okay, on local we have some changes. And whose changes has to be applied to the same file? Whether Linux user or Windows user? How about Linux user? How about Linux user then?
He made changes only on first line.
He has done the changes to both lines, first line as well as fifth line.
Yeah, but first line is accepted.
Yeah, first line will be accepted. That's correct. First line will be accepted without any issues. Only issue with the fifth line. Okay. Right. Okay. So what do you see here? Auto merging. Okay, it is trying to do auto merging first, but the conflict is merge conflict in file.java. Automatic merge failed. So system wants to try the merge, okay, by itself automatically, but it is got failed. System is not able to update the automatic merges. Okay. So if it is not done automatically, we need to do it manually. Now here we want to use the merge tool.
Yeah. Hello, Krishna.
Yeah.
Chandra here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just were confused here. Can you please come again?
Okay.
Why should we require git
Which
pull?
part? Sorry, git pull.
Because you have committing changes in the central repository, right? Why should we require the git pull again?
See, git pull means. See, I think you missed the first part, I guess. Okay. Did you? Okay. See, the part is here. So developer one has already done some changes to the central repository. Okay. He has done already some changes to the central repository. Okay. To the same line. He has done the changes. He has committed. He has pushed the changes to the central repository. Okay. Now we have some changes on the central repository by the Windows user. But as a Linux user, this user is also doing some changes to the same line. Okay. That means there is some change in the version. See, whenever we commit it, the version will be changed on the central repository. Okay. So whenever we push it, the version will be changed on central repository. So that means the file version has been changed on the central repository. But the Linux user is not having the latest version. Is not having the latest version of the file. So that is the reason you always need to pull it before you commit it. So before you push it, do not forget to pull it. Okay. So whenever you pull it, what happens? The version will be updated even locally as well. So we have seen the same concept, right? See, if you don't have the version sync, like your local repository and central repository versions are not in sync, you won't be able to commit it. You won't be able to push it. So we know this. That is the reason we need to pull it first. But if I pull it, what happened? The changes have been not happened because there are some conflicts with the same file and the same line. That is the reason. So before you push it, do not forget to pull it first. Always. That is a definitely we need to do it. Okay? Clear?
So merge concept is should be applied in one Linux itself, right?
No. I'm just showing different users. That's it. I just want to show you two different clients. One is on Linux, one is on Windows. What if you have a Linux user on? What if you have a user on Linux? So if you don't want that, you can maintain both the users within Git bash itself. That means on Windows. No issues. Okay. Maintain two repositories, two local repositories on Windows itself. Okay. Because this is somewhat different concept, I want to take that concept. That's it. So if I take the two different Windows users Okay, so we have already done that on SPN. Okay, I have taken two different users on Windows machine. Now I wanted to show you something different. So what if we have some users on Linux? That's why. Okay. Yeah. So what was that? There was issue, right? The conflict issue. Automatic merge got failed. Okay, fine. Now here comes, I need to use the merge tool. Okay, so what is the merge tool we have used? We are using here which merge tool? VAM diff, right? Using VAM diff merge tool. Okay, so I need to open that VAM merge tool first. Okay, right. Merge tool. Is it merge tool or merge tool? One second. Let me confirm this. Okay. So this is, now we need to open the git merge tool. Git merge tool. So this merge tool is going to help us to resolve the conflicts. Okay. Now, so which tool is getting open now? VAM diff. Okay. VAM diff, it's going to be open. Because why VAM diff? Because we have already said that VAM diff as our merge tool. See, since the automatic conflicts, automatic merge has been failed, we need to fix those merges manually. But how can you fix those changes? How can you fix those merges manually? With the help of merge tool. Okay. So what is the merge tool? We have already said VAM diff, right? Remember? Which merge tool we have already said? VAM diff, right? I want to open the merge tool. With the help of the VAM diff merge tool, I'm going to fix those conflicts manually. Okay. Then just type enter. Okay. Now here we have the conflicts. Okay. See, look at here. This one. Okay. The first file is your changes. I mean the present user changes. Some Linux user, right? The first file is your file. Okay. And the last file is other file, other user file. Right hand side file. Okay, this file is other user file and this file is your file. Okay, and in the middle you can see the conflict. Where is the conflict? The conflict is which line? Line number 5, right? That's why it is in red mark. Look at here. It is in red mark. Even we have something in red mark at the first line as well, right? So that means in this file you can see that okay, there are two changes has been done by the present user, the Linux user. That's why they are in red mark. Okay, and on the right hand side file, that is the file which is done by the changes done by the other user. Okay, but in the middle you see in which conflict you have in which line you have conflict. The something, if you see something in red line, that is a conflict. That's it. If you see something in red line, that is conflict. Clear? So where can you see the conflict? In the middle file. In the middle. Okay? Right. Now, but how can I fix this? I want to do the changes. So if you look at the bottom file, this file here, okay. So this file shows, and this is the file, you can do changes as you wish at the bottom file. Okay. For example, and say everything is VAMs here. Press I. Once you press I, now you will be in insert mode. Okay. Now I'm in insert mode. I'm in insert mode. Okay. Now just do the changes as you wish. So look at here. In which line we have conflicts? These lines, right? We have conflicts on these lines. Line number 5. System.out.println. System.out.println. But how the first line? Is there any conflict? There's no conflict in the first line. We have conflict only in the line number 5. That's why, so look at here, these are both the user changes here. This is from Linux user and this is from Windows user. Now, whose changes you want to be applied now? Very simple. Just press insert. Now you are insert mode. Okay. Now you are in insert mode. You can do the changes as you like. So just remove this junk data. Okay. I want to remove this junk data. Now, okay, whose changes you want to whose changes you want first? Okay, whether developer want Windows user, whether Windows 2 user. Okay, if you want, for example, just delete the lines. The delete lines whichever you don't like it. For example, if you don't want this line, delete this line. Okay, now I'm deleting Linux user changes. Okay, I want only Windows users. But what if you want to have both the user changes? Just leave the file as it is. Okay, this is just like a DAM meter, some simple text file. Just do the changes as you wish. Simple. Okay, it's just a simple text file. Okay, now delete that user changes. That's it. And then save the file. Normally, :WQ. And then save every file. Exit. That's it. Now, ls. If you go for ls, what is our file? File.java, right? vi. So which user changes we have? We have Windows user changes, right? And what happened to the other Linux user changes? I deleted them. Okay, so this is not deleted properly. Okay, but I've deleted the Linux user changes. But what if you want both the user changes? Just leave the text as it is. We are deleted, right? Do not delete it. Simple. Okay. Then, so save this file and check for git status. Okay. And before that, there's one more file, right? There's one more file created. Did we create this file? No, it is created by itself automatically. So if whenever there is any conflict occurs, the file will be created with extension .org. So in that file you can see the conflicts. Open that file. So this was the conflict file. Okay. So where do we have the conflict? Where did we have the conflict? In these two lines, right? The line number 5. You can see the conflict file as well. Okay, clear? And what I have done, I have just applied only the Windows user changes. I deleted Linux user changes. So this is the conflict file, and this is other one is the actual file. Other one is the actual file. This is the conflict file. Okay, clear? Now let's git add. Before that, check the status. Git status. So status is this file has been modified. Forget about this file. Okay, forget about this file. So the file has been modified. Okay, git add file.java. Okay, we have added, and then git commit -m conflicts resolved. Okay. Open now. Conflict resolved. Okay, and then git push origin master. Done. It has been pushed. Okay. Now what the Windows user has to do? What he has to do? He has to pull it, correct. Because the file is changed on central repository, right? Obviously he has to pull it, git pull. Like 4 insertions, one file has been changed. Okay. VI, clear? Now we have these changes. Now the central repository, Windows user repository and Linux user repository, everything is same now. Okay, is this clear? Any questions? See, this is okay. Only thing is just one simple thing you need to remember here. Just you need to know what has happened in the conflict file. Okay, just try to understand the conflicts. Who has done the changes? Who has done the changes and how to resolve those conflicts? To be simple. Okay, and you need to get the confirmation from the developers before you do the changes to the file. You need to get the confirmation from the developer how they want the file, actual file looks like. Whether they want his changes, whether he wants other changes, or whether they want both the changes to be applied. If they ask, I want both the user changes to be there in the file, then leave it as it is. Okay, leave it as it is. There is a conflict file, right? There is a conflict file. Okay. So if they don't want it, then what you can do is just delete these lines. So this is kind of a backup file. Okay, this is kind of a backup file, and once you are done with it, okay, just once you are done with it, okay, delete that file. But you need to get the confirmation from the developers first. Can I remove that backup file? Can I remove that conflict file?
So it was if one is modified and one is
Actual conflict file. So that is, see, once we done the changes, once we fix the changes, once we resolve the conflict, if the user changes, sorry, that was my mistake, can you revert those changes back? Then you will be in trouble.
So every time like conflict file is created, changes made in same file that java.org. But every time you made a different.
See, that is kind of a backup, that's it. So that is kind of actual file, actual conflict file. You don't do changes to that file, just make a backup. Yeah.
If conflict happens many times, multiple times.
Yes.
So file made changes of multiple times or within a same conflict file.
Every time, whenever the file is conflict, the file will be updated. It will be keep on updating.
Keep on updating.
Yes. Okay. Clear? Right. Try to do some hands-on on this. Try to resolve this conflicts. Try to understand the conflicts first. Then you can easily resolve the conflicts. So only thing what I have done is the simple things which we don't, which are new to us is setting these two tools. That's it. And rest of the things are same as yesterday. I was adding the some content to the file, and the user is trying to add content from his end as well. Okay, and he is trying to commit it, but he was not able to commit it because the file is already updated on central repository. That was the reason. Okay. So these are the conflicts. You can resolve these conflicts with the help of the merge tool. Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's all for today.